It's been a little while since my last video. That's because I wasn't well. I lost my voice, but what I did not lose was the 467th raffle I entered for a pair of Yeezy slides. I would love nothing more than to bring this video to you all to tell you that these are overpriced, overhyped, and not that great. But, well... Let's get into it. There really isn't a whole heap to these shoes. They're a slide, there isn't much by way of materials, and let's be honest, I'm late to the party. Very, very late to the party. But it hasn't been because I haven't tried to get a pair. I've tried so many times through so many different raffles, but all I cop were L's. And I am super stubborn and refuse to pay resale on a pair of what I think are already overpriced slides. And that's why I kind of bring in the video saying that I would love nothing more than just to bag on them and say that I didn't miss out on much and that these are in fact not that great. But after wearing them a little bit, I've changed my mind. I haven't changed my mind about them being pricey. I think that they are still a pricey slide. At $120 here in Australia, you could buy nearly 3 pairs of my other favorite slide, the Nike off-court slide. Those are super comfy and they're spongy and they do everything I think that a slide needs to do while looking pretty good doing it. But then you kind of take a look at some of the other more premium types of slides and you kind of understand where the pricing is heading for a pair of Yeezy branded slides. In Australia, the Air Max 90 slides are about $90, I think, retail anyway. And then there are the Adidas Boost slides that are about $100. The advantage with those other slides is that you can usually find them on sale or there's some sort of code that you can apply to get them cheaper than the retail price. With Yeezys though, there is no luck at getting them at a cheaper price because you have a hard enough time trying to get them at their retail price. The design itself, look, is probably not everyone's cup of tea. I think there are a lot of people that do like them, but I've kind of been left wondering whether or not people genuinely like the design of the shoe or whether they just like them because they're hard to get or because they've got a Yeezy name attached to it. I don't know what their reasons are, but I quite like these and I like them better in person, more than I thought I would. The slide itself is quite chunky. It's more chunky than I expected it to be, and on foot you can see that it definitely does have quite a pronounced kind of bulge to it, but it works really well with the proportions of the slide itself. The midsole itself is quite chunky, and having those thicker proportions all around the shoe I think work really well from a design perspective overall. Underfoot is this serrated outsole pattern which is a signature of the slide itself, and I think the way these indentations in this serrated panel work really well with the overall proportions of the shoe. They're quite deep, quite pronounced, and just complete the package really nicely. There is no rubber underfoot, and so that's something to be mindful of. Because a slide is one of those types of shoes that you would wear day in, day out, durability is probably not going to be fantastic. And with that lack of rubber, what that basically means is that the shoe is going to scuff almost immediately as soon as you hit the pavement. So if you do buy a pair of Yeezy shoes and you are quite precious with them, don't bother. You might as well just enjoy them, because as soon as you take these out on any sort of surface that is, I don't know, rough, it's going to scuff up straight away. So just wear them, enjoy them, and that's what you should be doing with all your shoes. As far as the midsole tech goes, I don't know what is exactly inside this foam setup. I know it's not Boost, but it's actually a lot more comfortable than my other Adidas Boost slides. I think that's something to do with a softer top layer of foam where your foot makes contact with the slide. I generally wear my slides with socks, so I haven't really experienced any sort of rubbing that I normally find if I wear a pair of Crocs barefoot. Given that this uses a similar construction, I would probably expect it to be the same, but I don't want to say that this would be uncomfortable barefoot because I really haven't worn them barefoot. If you are buying a pair of these or throwing your hat in the ring, be aware that these do run small. And so if you are like me and plan on wearing these with socks, I would absolutely recommend going up a full size. If you are wearing them barefoot, you might be okay at your true to size, but I think just to be safe, you should be picking these up a full size bigger than whatever size you normally go. I went for my true to size 13 because that was the largest size that was available via the raffle that I entered. And these are okay, but I would definitely prefer a little bit more room when I'm wearing them. The other interesting thing that is a more minor detail that I've noticed about the Yeezy slides is that they're using the Adidas Performance branding. If you're familiar with how Adidas brand their products, the Originals and the Performance stuff have different logos and are usually depicted on the boxes that the shoes come in. The Originals stuff has the Trefoil logo and the Performance stuff has the 3 stripes. The main difference, I think, is that the Adidas Original stuff is more geared towards lifestyle wear, which is where I would have thought a pair of shoes like this would have lived, but that's probably the case for other Yeezy shoes. I don't know because I really don't have that many. In fact, no, this is my first pair. I did have a pair of the Yeezy Boost 380s, but I had to return those because they ran so small and were so uncomfortable. I think it's a shame that these aren't more widely available. Even at $120, it would be so good if stock levels were relaxed a little bit and more people were able to access these slides. It would also drive that resale market down. Who knows, maybe the release of the Adilette 22 is going to force the Yeezy people's hand at making these slides more available. If you're not familiar with what the Adilette 22 slides are, that is a new version of that classic Adilette slide from Adidas that Kanye isn't overly happy about because he feels that the design is kind of stepping on Yeezy's toes and they're much cheaper. I think that all of this hype is only going to make the Adilette 22s harder to get. Hopefully that's not the case and I can get my hands on a pair when they land in Australia, but I think these are great. I can't say that they're bad, and I think that if you get a chance, you really should be checking them out. And if you are wearing them, don't be too precious about them. They are a slide. They are not going to age all that well, so you might as well get some good use out of them. I'm really interested to know your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of the Yeezy slide in the comments below. But until the next video, laters.